Black women have the highest population of undiagnosed depression. Black women have the highest population of undiagnosed depression. And the reason why black women don't seek treatment is because the black church tells them all they need is Jesus. Why is it the hospital being charged with neglect of a fetus? They want to lock our sister up for a baby that came in the world already deceased. She should not have flushed the baby down the toilet. I understand. But T.D. Jakes should be brought before the black community, and T.D. Jakes should be forced to stand trial. Okay, let me say this. Let me say this, family. Let me say this, family. For my www.drumar.tv family, I will be having new videos coming soon. For my www.drumar.tv Africans, I will be having new videos coming soon. Make sure you subscribe to www.drumar.tv. Make sure you subscribe to www.drumar.tv. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you subscribe. Brothers and sisters, for my artists out there, I need some help with something. I need some help. I'm looking for the artificial intelligence app, the AI app, that will allow me to do a comic book in artificial intelligence. I want to turn my face into the superbook hero. I want to turn my face into the Prince of Pan-Africanism superhero character for the Prince of Pan-Africanism comic book. Can somebody direct me to the appropriate AI app that I can use to create my own Prince of Pan-Africanism comic book? Can somebody please text me the appropriate AI app that I can use so I can create my Prince of Pan-Africanism comic book to educate African children? Can somebody help me out? Can somebody help me out? Can somebody help me out? I need the appropriate app for me to do the Prince of Pan-Africanism comic book. Prince of Pan-Africanism comic book. The HVAC been fixed for about 2 months now, 3 months now, my brother, you late. HVAC been fixed. HVAC been fixed. I want to create my Prince of Pan-Africanism comic book. I heard I can do it on the AI app. Can somebody text me the correct app? Text it to my phone. 215-989-9858. Text it to my phone. 215-989-9858. Text it to my phone. 215-989-9858. I need the correct AI app so I can create the Prince of Pan-Africanism comic book. Text my phone. Text my phone. I ask you to text my phone. So, as far as what we're going to deal with today. What we're going to deal with today, family. Let me see. Let me see. Did y'all hear about the black woman who was charged with murder for what happened with the baby, y'all? The black woman was charged with murder. Y'all know what I'm talking? There was a black woman who was charged with murder for miscarrying her child. Did y'all hear about that? Did y'all hear about that? Here we go. A black woman was criminally charged after a miscarriage. It shows the perils of pregnancy post-Roe. A black Ohio woman who miscarried in her bathroom has been charged with abuse of a corpse. A black Ohio woman who miscarried in her bathroom has been charged with abuse of a corpse. A black woman in Ohio who miscarried in her bathroom has been charged with abuse of a corpse. 33-year-old Watts, who had not shared the news of her pregnancy even with her family, made her first prenatal visit to a doctor's office behind Mercy Health St. Joseph's Hospital in Warren, a working-class city 60 miles southeast of Cleveland. The doctor said while a fetal heartbeat was still present, Watts's water had broken prematurely, and the fetus she was carrying would not survive. He advised heading to the hospital to have her labor induced so she could have what amounted to an abortion to deliver the non-viable fetus. Otherwise, she would face significant risk of death, records of her case show. That was a Tuesday in September. What followed was a harrowing 3-day entailing multiple trips to the hospital, Watts miscarrying into and then flushing and plunging. She miscarried into and then flushed and plunged a toilet at her home. A police investigation of those actions and Watts, who is black, being charged with abuse of a corpse. That's a 5th-degree felony, punishable by up to a year in prison and a $2,500 fine. Her case was sent last month to a grand jury. It has touched off national firestorm over the treatment of pregnant black women in the aftermath of the U.S. Supreme Court Dobbs v. Jackson's Women's Health Organization decision that overturned Roe v. Wade. Civil rights attorney Benjamin Crump elevated Watts' plight in a post to Twitter. Michelle Goodwin, a law professor at the University of California, Irvine, and author of Policing the Wound, said the case follows a pattern of women's pregnancies being criminalized against them. She said those efforts have long overwhelmingly targeted black and brown women. Even before Roe was overturned, studies show that black women who visited hospitals for prenatal care were 10 times more likely than white women to have child protective services and law enforcement called on them, even when the cases were similar. Post-Dobbs, what we see is a kind of a wild, wild west, said Goodwin. You see the kind of muscle flexing by district attorneys and prosecutors wanting to show that they're going to be vigilant. They're going to take down women, black women, who violate the ethos coming out of the state legislature. She called black women canaries in the coal mine for the hypervigilant type of policing women of all races might expect from the nation's network of healthcare providers, law enforcers, and courts now that abortion isn't federally protected. At the time of Watts' miscarriage, abortion was legal in Ohio through 21 weeks, 6 days of pregnancy. Her lawyer, Tracy Timko, said Watts sat for 8 hours at the hospital awaiting care on the eve of her pregnancy, reaching 22 weeks before leaving without being treated. So she was in the hospital waiting, y'all. A pregnant black woman sat in the hospital for 8 hours. She sat in the hospital for 8 hours. A pregnant black woman sat in the hospital for 8 hours and didn't receive no care before she left. The pregnant black woman sat in the hospital for 8 hours before she left. It was the fear of this is going to constitute an abortion, and are we able to do that? The hospital didn't return calls seeking confirmation. Why isn't the hospital being charged with a crime? Why isn't the hospital being charged with a crime? Why isn't the hospital being charged with a crime? The issue isn't how the child died when the child died. It's the fact the baby was put in a toilet, was large enough to clog up the toilet, left in the toilet, and she went on with her day. So she's not being charged with murder. She's being charged with abuse of a corpse. What do y'all think, brothers and sisters? She's not being charged with murder. Our sister in Ohio isn't being charged with murder. She's being charged with abuse of a corpse. What do y'all say about this? She went to the hospital, sat there for 8 hours the night before she delivered. She went to the hospital and sat there for 8 hours on the night before she delivered. It seems like the next day she went to the bathroom, the baby came out, and then she flushed the baby. Should she be charged with abuse of a corpse? Should she be charged with abuse of a corpse? 33-year-old sister. The forensic investigator said they felt what appeared to be small feet with toes inside the toilet. The forensic investigator reported that they felt what appeared to be small feet with toes inside the toilet. Police took the toilet, broke the toilet open to retrieve the intact fetus as evidence. An autopsy confirmed that the fetus died in utero before passing through the birth canal. That means the hospital killed that baby. If the baby died in utero and she was at the hospital the night before trying to get some help and the hospital made her sit there for 8 hours and never helped her, so she was forced to leave, shouldn't the hospital be charged with murder? Somebody said, how can it be a corpse if it never took a breath? Somebody said, how can she be charged with abuse of a corpse if the baby never lived? How can it be a corpse? They're arguing that in order to be a corpse, you must have been alive. They're saying the baby may have never been alive. The baby never came into the world alive, so how can she be charged with abuse of a corpse? What do y'all think about this, brothers and sisters? You said she should have went to another hospital. I think that's kind of insensitive. You said she should have went to another hospital. I think that's kind of insensitive. And let me explain to you why I think that's kind of insensitive. Black women go through a lot of hell. Black women go through a lot of hell. And on top of all the hell that black women go through, taking care of children, suffering racism, sexism, rape, molestation, abuse, and everything else, on top of everything black women go through in this country, they also have to carry children and birth them into this world. I'm not taking up for the sister flushing a corpse down the toilet. I don't think that was appropriate, but I don't think she should go. It wasn't appropriate, but I don't think she should go to jail. I believe that sister was depressed. I believe that sister has mental health issues. I believe if we met with that sister and talked to that sister, we would understand why she flushed the baby down the toilet and went on with her life. But the baby was already deceased. She might have did it to get it off her mind. She might have been so much in trauma and in pain that the only way she felt she could get rid of her trauma and her pain was to flush the baby down the toilet. I'm not making excuses. All I know is black women go through a lot of hell in this country. Pregnant black women go through the most hell. Pregnant black queens go through the most hell. Pregnant black goddesses, pregnant black empresses, they go through the most hell. So I'm not going to judge her. Black women have the highest population of undiagnosed depression. Black women have the highest population of undiagnosed depression. And the reason why black women don't seek treatment is because the black church tells them all they need is Jesus. The reason black women don't seek treatment is the black church tells our black women all they need is Jesus when they really need a psychologist. All they need is Jesus when they really need a therapist. All they need is Jesus when they really need a counselor. So I'm not going to beat up on my black sister. I'm not going to beat up. I don't know what she went through. Imagine sitting in the hospital for 8 hours, pregnant with a baby, and the hospital never waits on you. Why isn't the hospital being charged with neglect of a fetus? Why isn't the hospital being charged with neglect of a fetus? Why isn't the hospital being charged with neglect of a fetus? They want to lock our sister up for a baby that came in the world already deceased. She should not have flushed the baby down the toilet. I understand. But there are contextual psychological issues at play. There are contextual psychological issues at play. There are contextual psychological issues. Did she have a family? Did she have family support? Where is the father of the child? Was she raped? Was this an incest baby? I'm not passing judgment without all the information. I'm not passing judgment without all the information. You got white people who kill black people and go home. They don't even go to jail. You got white people who kill black people and go home, and they don't even go to jail. You got white people who kill black people. They go home. They don't even go to jail. But y'all want this black woman to go to jail for flushing the unborn deceased child down the toilet. I can't say that unless I know all the information. But I want to say this. In the social media era, we have become so judgmental and condemnatory. We crucify black people without an honest trial before the community. I didn't say trial in court. I could give a damn about the white man's court. I said we have to give people the right of a trial before the black community. If y'all believe T.D. Jakes is guilty, T.D. Jakes should be brought before the black community, and T.D. Jakes should be forced to stand trial in front of the black community. I'll be in Dallas-Fort Worth tomorrow. I have no problem standing in as the hearing officer for the T.D. Jakes Tribunal. I have no problem serving as the hearing officer for the T.D. Jakes Tribunal. But I believe we have to give people the right of a trial before the community. If y'all believe Sean Puffy Combs is guilty, Sean Puffy Combs need to stand trial before the community. Let white man justice be white man justice, but we need black man justice. Let white man justice be white man justice, but we need black man justice. Let white man justice be white man justice, but we talking about black man justice. Where can I get something good to eat in Fort Worth, Texas tomorrow night? Where can I get something good to eat in Fort Worth, Texas tomorrow night? Where can I get something good to eat on the first night of Kwanzaa in Fort Worth, Texas tomorrow? Or do I got to go to Dallas, Texas? Do I got to go to Dallas, Texas? Do I got to go to Dallas, Texas? Where can I get some soul food at the first night of Kwanzaa in the Dallas-Fort Worth area? I want to see everybody at the St. Stephen's Church in Fort Worth Wednesday night. I want to see everybody at the St. Stephen's Church in Fort Worth, Texas, Wednesday night. We're going to talk about all of this. The turkey leg. I don't want no turkey legs. I take some ribs, some beef ribs, some veggie lasagna, I'm not going to Whataburger. I want some real food. Where my where my Fort Worth Africans at? I'm pulling up in Fort Worth Wednesday night for the Kwanzaa talk. I'm pulling up in Fort Worth Wednesday night. But I get to Dallas tomorrow night. Here's what I want to say, brothers and sisters. Here's what I want to say. Phoenix, Arizona. We got any soul food restaurants in Phoenix, Arizona? Thursday after the lecture, I'm going to be hungry. We got any soul food restaurants in Phoenix, Arizona? Thursday after the lecture at Grassroots Bookstore, I'm going to be hungry. When I leave Grassroots Bookstore in Phoenix, Arizona Thursday night, I'm going to want some food, brothers and sisters. Detroit, Michigan. Well, you know Detroit. We're the best black soul food in Detroit. Detroit, Michigan, Friday night, Saturday night. I need some food. We're the best black soul food in Detroit. I'm fasting. I can't eat until 5:15 dusk. This is the Pan-African fast. We're in our final week of the Pan-African fast. Peace and Pan-Africanism to all the brothers and sisters who've been fasting with me for the 21-day Pan-African fast from December the 10th to January the 1st, from sunrise to sunset, building our power for the 2024 New Year, brothers and sisters. Pan-African fast, Detroit meets the world. We're that Detroit soul food. We're that Fort Worth, Texas soul food. We're that Phoenix, Arizona soul food. We're that Sacramento, California soul food. We're that Antioch, California soul food. We're that Oakland, California soul food at, brothers and sisters. I said, where that Sacramento soul food at? Where that Antioch, California soul food? Where that Oakland, California soul food? But this is what I want to say, family.